Welcome back to our children's storybook creations, and this week we're focusing on two really important parts of a book. We're focusing on the setting and the plot. So, for those of you that maybe don't remember the definitions of those things, the setting is where the story takes place, so that's a very important part of a story. And the plot is like the whole story. Like, where does your story go? What's the problem? What's the conflict? How is it going to resolve? The plot is very important. So we're going to talk about the structure of a plot mountain of how to tell a story. But first, we're going to read a book today called Dragon Post by Emily Yarlett. And it's a book that was published by EDC Publishing. So, let's get started. We're reading this with permission from the publisher, which is EDC Publishing. I really love the way the author included really engaging items in the book, which is another reason why I wanted to read it, because I thought that when we're making our books, maybe some of you will like to use some of these engaging pieces as well. So, Dragon Post by Emily Yarlett. One day, I found a dragon. I hoped it would stay. I always wanted a dragon, but this little dragon looked like it might set fire to the house. So I did the obvious thing. I wrote to the fire brigade, which is kind of like the fire department in England. They would know what to do. See, he writes the letter, help. Finally, I got a letter back. I dried it off and opened it up. It's all wet. I guess it's from the rain. It says, Alex, 28 Draco Way, Beaconwood, B87URN. This book is from England, so there's differences in how they write their addresses. It says, Urgent, 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 fire brigade. Dear Alex, goodness me, a baby dragon in your house? Crikey, it must be lost. As well as being really scary, dragons are a serious fire hazard, especially young dragons. If you have to keep it, and I really think you should not, then make sure it is moist at all times. You never know when it might erupt into flames. Golly, just thinking about it brings me out in a sweat. Hang on. Phew, I had to dunk myself in a bucket of cold water to calm down. I suggest you do the same with the dragon. Douse it in water right away. Yours frightfully, Henry Drant. P.S. Crikey. So I did what I was told. The dragon loved it, I could tell. I'm sure his mom and dad didn't love it because their house is now underwater. Later, we were hungry. I made my best jam sandwich. The dragon was not a fan, but I knew just who to ask about dragon food. I got a speedy reply. To Alex. Dear Alex. Oh, nice to meet you, butchers. There's beef, ham, chicken, exotic meats available exclusively in stores. So he wrote to the butcher about his dragon. Dear Alex, your dragon sounds delicious. I bet it would taste marvelous with potatoes and peas and carrots. I'm not surprised your dragon didn't like jam sandwiches. Dragons eat meat. Lots of meat. Because your dragon is so young, it will still have lots of growing to do, so you should fatten it up with some juicy meat. Please find out our latest meaty offers on the back of this letter. I wonder if I could eat meat your dragon at your earliest convenience. Perhaps I could have your dragon over for dinner. I suppose you could come too if you have to. My tummy is already rumbling. Look forward to eating, meeting your dragon. All the very best, Mr. Angus Teague. So this is a really cool story because the author tells a lot of the story and powers through the plot with letters instead of telling the story through like just pages of information. They use letters to tell the information, which is really cool. That day, the dragon ate 23 steaks, 10 hams, and half of my umbrella. His thank you roars were very loud. Oh. Notice also how the setting doesn't change in this book. It's always at his house. Maybe a bit too loud. I opened the letter very carefully. It says, Master Alexander. Contains important documents. So this sounds like an official letter. Let's see. Dear Master Alexander of Draco Way, we are writing to you as legal representatives for your neighbor, Miss Arabelle Schmirk. We must complain in the strongest possible terms about the heat, smoke, and most importantly, terrifying roaring coming from your house. Our client is not sure what you are up to, but it must be something very naughty, and whatever it is, she wholeheartedly does not approve. It is so noisy that it is upsetting her rock collection and making her potted plants sad. Our client does not like this very much. Please take steps to correct this problem as soon as possible. Understand that if you do not, we will be forced to take further action. Yours legally, Petrodantic P. Nickety. Solicitors. So they're like lawyers that the neighbor reached out to and was like, dude, your house is too loud. We said sorry to next door. Oh, there she is. And my dragon tried to be quiet, but it's hard when you're growing so big in such a little house. We needed help, professional help. I wrote another letter. The reply arrived just in time. Oh. This one is from the World Animal Welfare Association. Dear Alex, thank you very much for your letter. How exciting to have such a rare and endangered species living with you. Everyone here at World Animal Welfare is very jealous. We hope your home is large enough to accommodate this young dragon. Dragons can grow very big, very quickly indeed. We recommend a large property, perhaps a castle. It is important that your dragon has enough room to move around freely. We think he may be suffering from cramped endorvitis, which can be terrible. We prescribe that you take your dragon for one flight every day. Working together, we can protect the world animal kingdom. Yours wildly, Bernard East, Mr. B. East, Director of World Animal Affair. P.S. Sorry about the bite marks. A tiger has just paid us an unexpected visit. Tiger looks hungry. Maybe he needs to visit the butcher to get some ham. So when the world was fast asleep, we crept outside and soared into the sky. We were happy together. Just because they're happy together, do you think that this dragon should be living in essentially an apartment? It's very small. Even though they love each other. I don't know. I loved my dragon, and I wished he could stay forever, but I don't think dragons are made to be pets. I wasn't sure what to do, so I wrote to the wisest person I knew. She wrote back straight away. My best friend Alex and his dragon. Oh boy. Alex's dragon. Oh. To Alex, wow, a dragon! That is so exciting. He sounds the best. Dragons are my favorite after unicorns. Oh dear, it does sound like your dragon is very big and your house is only normal sized. He really can't live with you forever. He needs to find his own place with plenty of room to flap about. If I was a dragon, I would want to be free. Maybe he should live somewhere that looks a bit more like this. As much as you love your dragon, it might be time to let him go. Love from your best friend, Hillary. P.S. Give your dragon a pat on the head and an iced bun for me. Oh, they're it's like a donut. I showed my dragon the letter, and he beamed and sparkled. We spent a final day together. We didn't want to go. We didn't want to say goodbye, but we knew it was right. Sometimes you have to do what's hardest. I missed my dragon. I would never forget him. Where you took the bite out. I hoped he would never forget me. Then one day I got some post, and it was dragon post. So post is another name for getting mail. So some of the language in here is a little different than what you're used to because it's a book written from a perspective of somebody in England. So their words sometimes are different than the words that we use in America. But I'm going to move on to my next video where we're going to work on our activity, and we're also going to talk more about plot and setting.